Hi there, everyone. Welcome to my series called Reading Reviews. It's where I read books in a particular year and then I review them. Pretty simple. For the year 2020, it's not been the greatest reading year for me. I've actually been very slow on reading because it's like, well, we had the quarantine and I was still working technically because I work at home. So I didn't have the luxury of like just being able to sit around and just read. That and just my brain has not been very into reading. So when I did read, it was in very short spurts. But something I did manage to get through, I'm quite proud of myself on this one, was actually Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. I believe it was Scientology, Hollywood, and the Prison of Belief by Lawrence Wright. I mentioned this in my podcast that I just started with my good friend Lux, that I was reading this, and I finally finished it. I finished it a while ago, but it's first time I'm talking about it. But Going Clear is one of the definitive books about the Church of Scientology, and looking specifically at the two main leaders that Scientology has had, which was the creator, L. Ron Hubbard. He's a science fiction writer. He was a pretty troubled guy, all things considered. And then the current leader of the church, which is David Miscavage. And the one thing I will say about this book, I don't even remember what rating gave it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I think. Quote, question mark. But the one problem that I had with this book is that it was dense. It was dense with so much information that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get through it properly. But I did manage to carry on. And it was fascinating because I'd already known a lot about at least some of the outsider's perspective of Scientology and then what people who have been in the church have said. And yeah, there's some hinky shit. It is pretty long. The first half of the book is about L. Ron Hubbard and how he grew up, how he ended up creating his pulp fiction empire, because the one thing I didn't realize is that he actually holds the Guinness Book of World Record for number of publications. I think he has like 1,064 on his record. But that's like, yeah, he was in the pulp fiction days of science fiction. And then the beginning of him creating Dianetics, and then Dianetics leading into Scientology. And then the second half of the book is about David Miscavage, how he grew up, how he got involved in the church. His father had actually, I think, brought them in there. And then basically everything that went on from the time that David Miscavage started to current day. And there were some stories I had already heard, and then there were some explanations for things that I had heard vague information about that actually elaborated further. And whoa, those ones were like the wild ride, because they were current things that I remember seeing about, and I'm like, yo, what? Oh my god, it was so funny. But I will say that for information on cults, Scientology is definitely a fascinating subject. I might try and read up more on other people who have been cults. Like, I've watched TV shows and everything about cults. And I mean, I wrote a book with a cult survivor, basically. So anyway, that was my thought process on Going Clear. If you're interested, it's on Audible. It's also on, I checked it out from the library. So it's pretty good. Very dense, but pretty good. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!